everyone, my name's Kirsty, but you're not joining me on my allotment today, you're actually joining me in my garden. Now I am doing lots of prep in my garden for autumn and winter, and I've obviously got loads of prep that I'm doing down on my allotment too. But what I was going to do today, even though I'm a little bit late getting my sowings in, is I'm actually going to sow some of my autumn winter vegetable seeds that grow over the autumn and winter. Normally I'll do this in sort of like August, September time, so obviously I'm a little bit later this year as it is, I think, the 11th or 12th of October today. So I've got my veg truck at home, which is like on the back wall of my garden, which keeps relatively warm. Obviously I've got my greenhouse behind me, so I am going to sow some of my seeds. Now these are all seeds that are actually still quite appropriate for like this month, so that will they'll hopefully grow quite well. I think I actually may have sown them like near the end of September last year and they all did really well, so we'll wait and see. But I have radish, cherry bell, mizuna, I have charred bright lights, perpetual spinach, and carrot, which is red core, which is like, I think, one of like the smaller little carrots, and then my favourite lettuce, which is to grow like over the winter, lettuce Marvel of Four Seasons. It always does really well. So I'm going to sow those into my veg truck. I think what I'm going to do is pop the the charred, the bright lights, like across the back, because that grows quite tall and it's really colourful. If it grows in enough time, it might not do. So I'm going to sow that along the back, and then I'm going to do basically just like a little line of carrots and cherry bell radish, and then the rest of it is going to be like a row of lettuce Marvel of Four Seasons, a row of spinach, and then a row of mizuna, and then another couple of rows that I can get in. So yes, I'm going to do that now, and then I think probably after this I'm going to look at doing a few more jobs in the garden. I've got some strawberry runners that still need potting up. I've got some plants that really need bigger pots. They're becoming a little bit more established, so I'm going to move them into some bigger pots. And the biggest thing really is I actually need to clear everything out of my greenhouse and give the greenhouse a clean, because it's really filthy. I've got loads of plants in there that are sort of like dying now that just need removing. And then I've got my chilies. I've got lots of chilies that I need to harvest. And then I've also got some chili plants that are sort of like had it and they need to go. But I've got some chili plants that are doing really well that I'm actually thinking I might overwinter a couple in the house. So I'm gonna like have a little look at how to do that process and do that this year. So I think, yeah, get the salad bed, get all the seeds sown, and then maybe do some jobs in the garden. Just try to basically get it tidy, ready for autumn and winter. Now this year the garden has been really nice. I added a new border that looks really, really pretty. And I'm thinking I'm probably going to add another couple of borders. I've got some really nice established shrubs in here now that really need a good like cut back, and a couple of trees that need pruning and trimming a little bit. So there's lots to do in the garden. There is even more to do at the allotment, but what I decided to do is I'm going to focus on getting the garden done this week, and then as of like next week, because it's turning quite cold, everything will die back a bit on the allotment, and then it just makes it easy. I'm just going to go in, clear everything, mulch my beds, and get everything looking good, ready for like the cold winter months and ready for spring next year. But I'm going to make sure, obviously, I take you along on that journey and show you everything that I'm doing. So if you're enjoying like my content, please subscribe or like or leave a comment of things that you want to see. And yeah, can't wait to bring you a little bit more content about what I'm doing. So I'm going to show you how I'm sowing my seeds. So I'm going to bring the camera a little bit closer. Now, I know a lot of you know how to sow seeds, and you know, for a lot of people this is probably just like pulling teeth, but I do think it's maybe like important that I maybe just show the little processes of things that I do just to help people that may be starting out, because there are a lot of people that are just getting into like growing their own vegetables and stuff. I think, as you know, there's more people that are vegan and vegetarian. There's a lot more people growing their own food. So I'm just going to show you what I do. There are loads of easy ways and different ways to do these things, but this is what I do. So like I said, I'm going to grow the chard at the back. Now it gets quite tall, which is fine because there's loads of room. I'm just going to leave like a bit of a gap from the back. But all I do is I just use this side of my hand, and I'll just make a nice sort of line across. It's really easy to sort of keep it straight as well, for those that like straight lines, which is definitely me. So yeah, just use that sort of side of your hand to make that little groove, because it doesn't need to be that deep. The roots will obviously anchor down to make the plants nice and stable, but yeah, we'll just make that little groove here. And as you can see, I think you can see, I've got that little groove down. So all I'm going to do is take some chard seeds, and what I'm going to do is, so I don't waste the seeds, and I don't really want to waste thinning them out, because I don't have a lot of other places to plant them, and because the seeds are, well, they're quite big really compared, you know, something like radish and lettuce, you're not going to be able to pick that up with your fingertips. There are lots of like little pincers and stuff you can get, but these ones I can use my fingertips with. So I'm just going to sort of put them in and maybe leave a couple of inches between each seed. So there's a nice gap, because chard grows really quite big and bushy. And obviously this is called the bright lights, so it'll be a mix of colours. Whoops, I'm dropping them in the bed now. There'll be a really nice mix of colours. Now then what I'm going to do is, I am just in case just going to add a couple more in between those bits. And what I can do is then, if I haven't got a nice mixture of colours, I can take one out and move one up a little bit. When they start sprouting, I'll be able to see what colour they are from the little seedling. So yeah, I'm just going to sort of put in maybe like 20 or so seeds, and then what I'll do is, when they start growing, have a look at what colours I've got, because I really like growing really colourful things. So as long as I've got, like, you know, one yellow, one red, one pink, one green, one white sort of colour, I can just then thin out anything else, because as I say, the plants grow really quite tall. Now, as you've made this groove with your hand, there's a little bit of soil, so just gently push it over, only from one side, to cover those seeds, and then very, very gently just pat it down. And that's it really. It is nice and simple. And obviously they will need a water to get them going, but it has been raining heavily, so this soil is really quite damp at the moment, so I'm probably quite happy just to leave it to just probably rain, which I think it's going to rain tomorrow, so that would be perfect. Right. Oh, also, don't forget your labels, because I do this all the time. I'm like, I will remember absolutely everything. I sow, I'll remember where I put it. Will you heck? Like, you will not remember. So always label everything. You can't really see me, can you, obviously? I just get these like plastic plant markers, or whatever you want to call them, are really, really good. I use this art line garden marker, which is amazing because it doesn't come off. And then what I do is at the end of the season, like, collect all my plant labels, and then I use nail varnish remover to take off the pen, because when you wash them it doesn't come off fully, but if you use nail polish remover it comes off fully. So that's my little top tip there for you. I'm going to just move the camera so you can watch me do the rest. So we have sown the chard at the back, so fingers crossed that grows. I think what I'm going to do is just do like a really thin line of carrots and a really thin line of radish. If anything doesn't grow or doesn't grow quickly, it'll be those two things, but like the mizuna, the spinach and the lettuce will grow really quite quickly, so I'm going to do more more lines of those, more rows of those, because for me, I'll eat a lot of, I eat lots of salad. So that's the chard planted at the back. I'm going to do just one little line of the carrots and the radish, because if anything doesn't grow, it'll probably be those two. They won't grow as quick. And then like the mizuna, the spinach and the lettuce will all grow quite quickly. So I'll have more rows of that here, because for me, I eat loads and loads of salad, so that's something that I know I'll use. What I'm also going to do is these seeds that I'm growing, actually probably just the lettuce ones. I've got lots of different lettuce. I'm going to sow them in trays in my greenhouse, and then hopefully I can like put them in like pots and stuff, and the greenhouse will keep it slightly warmer, so I'll be able to use the sowings in there as well. Whiskey. Okay, so let's do the radish and the carrots. Like I said, don't forget your labels, because I am absolutely terrible. I do every year. I'm like, oh, I can remember what I've sown. I mean, I have a like 400 square meter allotment. I don't even know how big it is, and a garden, and like a community garden that I grow vegetables for. Yeah, I can really remember everything that I'm sowing. But I do make myself laugh because I do it every year. I am silly. Anyway, okay, so carrots and radish. Now, I'm just gonna do, I'm gonna obviously like just make a mark here, because I don't want to go too close to the chard. Radish is relatively small, so it can go quite far to the end. Like I say, I always just use the side of my hand. I get absolutely filthy, but I just find it's like really easy. Radish seeds, if you've not grown them before, like I say, you know, a lot of people watching probably have already grown their own things, but if you haven't, just to give you an idea. So these are the radish seeds, and as you can see, they are a lot smaller than the chard seeds. You can pick them up in your fingers. Obviously it just depends, like, you know, how well you can use your hands. Sometimes if it's really cold, I struggle to like use my grip because I have like quite bad joints, but you can get little pincers and stuff. But with radish, you normally get lots and lots of seeds anyway, so you can just sort of like try and space them out, sow them. If there's too many, you can try and pick them out now, or you can just thin them out when they start to grow. And if you've not done a thinning out process, it's really, really simple and easy. You just sort of go along the row of the little seedlings and just like in between each one, just pull like one or two out. The other thing with radishes, to be honest, you can sort of grow them like multi-sown together. They don't quite get as big, but if there's like a few together, they will grow together, a bit like beetroot. I don't know if you've done beetroot like that before. It's quite a good way of doing it. You can do that with radish as well, but I just find they don't get sort of like to full size. So that's that in, and then obviously you've made that little groove with your hand. You can just push the soil just gently over, really gently over, and just pat it down. Like I say, I'm not going to water this because it's going to rain tomorrow, so what's the point? And then I'm probably just going to leave like maybe like a 2-inch gap, and again just use use like the groove of my hand to like, sorry, use the side of my hand to make the groove. Obviously with carrot seeds, they're so small, so you barely have to go underneath the surface really. It's just as long as there's enough soil covering it that, you know, the wind isn't going to blow it away. Obviously you don't have to get mucky, you can actually just use some gloves. I've even got my nails done as well, but I did have them painted brown so you can't even tell if there's any soil there. But yeah, you can use gloves. Anyway, so I am going to sow some carrots, but yeah, I'll tell you a little bit more about like what jobs I'm doing in the garden. So I've got like a really big red robin, it's beautiful, that just needs really like cutting back a bit. It's got enormous. I've got like another shrub that needs like cutting back, then I've got 2 little shrubs that need shaping, which I'll just do myself. I've got a magnolia, and oh actually you can see it just there, look, it's like right in front of my greenhouse, and unfortunately it's kind of like, it's growing at a weird angle, and it's kind of blocking a lot of light into my greenhouse. So I'm gonna try and like shape it quite small. I don't know if you can do that. I really don't know when it comes to like pruning trees and things like that. It's probably one thing that I just really like have no knowledge on. But it's something that I'm going to learn. And then I've got an elderflower, but it's like, I think it's called like sambucus. It's the black elderflower with like the pink flowers. It's like black leaves and pink flowers. It's beautiful, but it's like unruly. It's everywhere. So I'm going to really, I think you can quite hard cut those back. So I'm going to cut that back and shape that this year, because that's blocking a lot of light into the greenhouse. And then like over there is like where the bird feeding area is. So I think what I'm going to do is like maybe add another bird feeding station, because I absolutely love it. I love the birds. They're my favourite. Anyway, so the carrot seeds, they are, I'm just going to like very thinly just sow them. Again, with the carrot seeds, you can sort of like thin them out as they're growing. Especially like with these smaller ones, just to give them that little bit of extra room to fatten up a little bit. But yeah, just a little row of those, nice and easy. And then I'm gonna obviously do my rows of lettuce. Anyway, so as I was saying, I think I might put another like bird feeding station over there. And then I've made a very small border in front of the greenhouse this year, and added some stuff. Added like lavender, lupins, hollyhock. Have a look. What's the other one? Foxglove, and it was beautiful. So I think next year it's going to be really, really nice. So I need to cut all of that back and then give it a bit of a mulch, I think, just to put a bit of richness back into the soil. I've got like behind the camera, it's like a really rubbish area, as in like it's the dumping ground, you know. We've all got one, so don't pretend you haven't. But I'm making a little seating area so I can sit. Even in the winter, because like I can come across the grass and it's like on gravel, and I can see the bird feeding station, and normally the robin comes and hangs out there in the winter, which is quite nice. So I think what I'm going to do over there is I've got like loads of logs that the girls have collected to make a bug house, so we're going to like put all of the logs down there to like make a bug house, and then oh yeah, and then this area here, like I've obviously got my veg truck and my greenhouse. This area at the back did used to have like lots of pots with flowers in, but I've decided this is just going to be a little grow your own area. So anything up here is edible. It's going to be like my little fruit bushes, some strawberries, like my little veg truck, and then I've got a new like planter from Zest that they sent me, like a herb planter, but I'm going to put like some herbs in it, and then I'm going to put like little salad leaves in it and stuff over the summer. And then down the bottom near the house it's not that big, it's not like really far away. I've made this really nice border full of like dahlias, verbena, there's like sunflowers, achillea, lavender, verbascum, there's all sorts in there, echinacea, and it's so nice. There's a few gaps that didn't quite grow this year, so I'm going to add to those gaps. I'm going to fully mulch that this year, because I'm going to leave the dahlia tubers in. So I don't know if you're one of the people that leave your dahlia tubers in or you take them out, but I'm going to leave them in. Never done it here before, because obviously that's the first time I've had a border. I'm going to really heavily mulch that in. And then what I'm doing is all the pots that were on here that have any kind of flowers in, some of them need repotting into bigger pots, and some of them can go into the border, but I'm going to put the pots all around like my patio area, because that's where I sit, and that's like initially like what you can see. So I think if I've got all my pots with my flowers there, I'm going to put loads of spring bulbs in them, so when I look out of my dining room onto my patio, I'll be able to see like all the little spring bulbs coming up while I'm working. That's where the seating area will be, obviously, and I've got like my olive trees, and I've got some little hanging baskets on the little fence panel near like my seating area. I really like it. So just working on the garden a little bit, shouldn't take me long really, but I'll probably work on it over the next like week or so, and then I feel like really quite happy with the garden. I would like to add another border going in front of like the red robin and the other shrub, but you know, it's quite expensive like getting plants and stuff, so I need to see how many spare plants I've got, what I could maybe grow from seed, and maybe if there's anything I can divide. So if I do build a new border, I'm definitely going to film that. And then I need to sort out the lawn. The lawn is pretty bad, but yeah, it's good. Lots to do, but I'm really excited about probably like how it's going to be next year. I think because I would have been then in the house for like 2 years, like going into my 3rd year, like the garden should be quite established. Obviously I've got like quite a big wall at the back of my house. I've added all these trellises on just to kind of break up. Obviously it's quite stony and a bit drab. Added these on, and then I've added some plants. So I've got a jasmine, beautiful jasmine climbing up that one. I've got down at the other one, I've got a hydrangea, like a perennial hydrangea. I don't know if you've seen it. It's like it like creeps and grows, and it's got like whitey greeny flowers in the summer, but it's like an evergreen, so it's green all winter long, which is nice. And then on here I've got 2 clematis, don't know what they're called or anything. And then on this one I haven't got anything, but I think I might do one of the other hydrangeas because they grow in like loads of like growing whatever conditions, and it'll grow, but it also like that one is growing and sticking to the wall as well, so that's really good. Anyway, right, I've gone off track. So I'm just going to do like a row of each of these and then repeat the rows going that way, or yeah, I might just do 2 rows. I don't know why, but I quite like it when you have like 1 row, 1 row, 1 row and then repeat them. But then again, I might as well just put the rows of the things that I'm doing together. Obviously, like for the spinach and the mizuna can go quite close together. The lettuce will have a little bit of a bigger gap in between because you want the lettuce to grow quite big. So I'm going to do that now. And then I'm going to crack on with some of the jobs. I think I personally love the autumn. I love autumn gardening. I like it when I can put my jacket on and my hat on and go outside and like prep things and get things ready for like the next season. And I don't know if it's because then I like it when it gets really cold and I can just rest. You know, we all need that rest, a bit like the gardens. So I quite like this time of year. I know a lot of people don't, you know, a lot of people hate that summer's ended, but I always just love like getting excited again for the next year. So I think if you've got any plans like that you're doing in your own garden, or if you're sowing any like autumn seeds, or if there's any big jobs that you're going to be doing over the autumn and winter, like on your allotments and stuff, please let me know. Write in the comments what you're up to, because I love to know what other people are doing. And I think I'm going to crack on with this. I'm going to leave the video there because I think you all know how to sow your own seeds. And what I'll do is maybe in another couple of weeks I'll do another little video in my garden and just show you where I'm up to, like how the back you know, the back grow your own areas like transforming, like what the greenhouse looks like, if we've got anything growing, and I'll keep you all updated. But I hope you have a lovely week in your gardens. I think tomorrow it's going to be raining though, so I think the weekend is set to be okay. So definitely a good weekend of gardening if you've got time. Thank you for tuning in. If you like my content, please like, subscribe, leave me a comment or whatever. I really appreciate you watching, and I'll see you all soon.